we were getting closer.
Hey girls! So today I have more of an advice style video for you. I've seen a lot of college videos going around, but I figured I'd go ahead and add my own 2 cents. Being a senior this year, I've definitely been through the ins and outs of college, and I feel like these are just some really good tips, some things that I kind of wish I knew when I was a freshman, and other things that I feel like just aren't as obvious when you get started. So I'm going to go ahead and just share them with you guys today. So the first one is actually my biggest tip for anyone going into college, and honestly just high school, school in general, is join something, get involved on campus. I think this is the absolute best thing that you can do for yourself, especially if you're going to college far away like I did, you don't know anyone, and you kind of just need a place to start. Of course, you can just make friends in your dorm or in your classes, but joining something is kind of putting yourself out there in a different way, and it's gonna let you share something that you're passionate about with other people. Whether you join a sport that you like playing, or you know, like a music kind of club, book club, whatever kind of organization you're interested in, maybe Greek life, that's what I personally chose to do. Honestly, just getting involved on campus just kind of creates a more small community that you're connected to on campus, and it really makes it special. I know for me, I go to a very large university, and if I hadn't joined my sorority right when I started, I feel like I would have gotten a little bit lost in campus just because it's so big and there's so many people around me all the time. But that way, you know, even when I joined as a freshman, I would see the sisters in AZD and I'd be like, oh, this is great, you know, like I know faces on campus, and it really just made a huge difference for me. My next tip kind of goes along with joining things, and it is don't be afraid to try new things. College is such a just kind of experimental time, and I know that sounds really weird, but you're really just kind of growing so much and you're really starting to become an adult, whatever that is. And I don't know, it's just a time to really let yourself grow and try new things. There's definitely a lot of amazing opportunities in college, from the classes you take to the things that you might look into joining to internships you might take and jobs you might take. And so there's just a lot of different experiences, and you definitely don't want to be afraid to try new things because it really can open a lot of doors for you. My next tip is so simple, but it's honestly so important, and that is to write things down. Now, this could be anything from going to meet your friend for coffee to having a paper due next week. I found the deeper I get into the semester, the more things start to just like pile up, and I feel like I'm like drowning in all the stuff that I have to do. And so when I write everything down, at least it's manageable. I can prioritize it and figure out kind of what I need to be working on. My biggest tip would just be to get a planner like this one. You can get a cute pattern if you want to. And you really just want something where, you know, you have the days of the week, and you really can just list out, you know, like paper due today, like test today in this class, and like meeting this person for coffee, or like this meeting at 7 p.m. Like just kind of listing out your day so you know what you need to focus on. It honestly helps so much in keeping organized, and I cannot function without a planner. Like, this is my life. If you're also more into doing things electronically, maybe you'd rather do it on your phone, I totally recommend using iCalendar or whatever app is on your phone to kind of put in different events and things like that, because that's another really great way to remind yourself of things. You can set a reminder to go off a couple of days before that you have a test on Friday or something, and that's also very helpful. So I actually do both, which probably seems a little overzealous, but having both, like it on my phone and my computer and my planner, just kind of keeps me sane, and that's how I keep track of things and just really know what's going on every day. My next tip seems even more obvious, but I promise you it gets so hard, and that is just go to class. Once you get to college, you'll understand no one's gonna care if you miss class. Like, there's not a teacher to slap you on the back of the hand. Your parents aren't, you know, there to tell you to go. Like, it's your choice whether you go to class or not, but you're paying to go to school. And if you don't go to class, you're not going to get anything out of your work and everything that you're doing at your school. So it does get hard sometimes, and sometimes, especially if it's a morning class, you'd rather roll over and go back to sleep. But you just have to find that motivation in yourself, because there is a reason you're going to school and it's so important. The next one is kind of building off of that, and it is to give yourself time to study and a good place to study. I think this is so important because study habits are really hard to set sometimes, even in high school and like lower school levels, but especially in college, there's just so much going on and classes give you a lot of work and stuff, and so it's really hard to kind of figure out how to manage studying. But I think the best way to do it is to just create a space that you go to do your homework, to study for tests, everything. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a quiet environment, but it has to be an environment that you're comfortable in and you know you can focus in. One of my favorite things to do is to go to a coffee shop like Starbucks and just sit myself down at a table, get a coffee, put in my headphones and focus on whatever I have to work on. And so that works for me personally. Some people really like to go to the library and get a study room because they'd rather it be quiet, and that's also a really good space to do that. But whatever you do, even if it's the desk in your dorm room, you want to set yourself a space to study, because then you're gonna subconsciously know when you get there, like, okay, it's time to focus, it's time to get things done, and it honestly will make things so much easier for you. This tip is more geared towards people who go far away to school like I did, and it's just to keep in touch with your friends and family. I know it can get hard with so many new things going on and being so far away from home, and it's very easy to get homesick and just not be feeling it. But honestly, as long as you keep in touch with the people back home, but you also let yourself kind of just grow and just push yourself to, you know, join something and be involved at your school and just have fun with it, I promise you everything will work out just fine and it'll be such a great experience for you. But like I said, I do think it's really important to keep in touch with people back home, because that kind of helps to like get rid of the homesickness, because you are still in touch with those people, and so it's not like you're so far away from them all the time. I totally recommend Skyping and FaceTiming. It's awesome because you can see the person almost like they're right in front of you, and it's really a different connection than just calling them on the phone or texting them. I think it's completely doable. I do go to school like 800 miles away from where I grew up, and it was hard at first, but I really adjusted to it, and I think it's been such an amazing experience for me. So don't let a school you're thinking about like scare you because it's far away, because it's a completely doable thing. The next one is also for people who are going away to school, but even if it's close, if you're moving into a dorm, this one's for you, and it's pack what you need, not everything you want. It's really hard because you have everything in your room and you want to bring everything with you, but you kind of just have to prioritize and think about the things that you're really going to need, that you're really going to use a lot, and those are the things you want to bring to school with you, because some things you might be like, oh, I might wear these shoes like once. Would another pair of shoes probably go with whatever outfits you're picturing? Probably. So you just kind of want to limit yourself, and that way you're not like shoving boxes into your car and like crying because you can't take everything with you. It doesn't mean that you can't bring like a lot of things to school. You just want to make sure that you don't bring too much and things that you're actually not going to end up using. So definitely go through and really think about the things you're packing, because it'll make your life so much easier later, especially when you have to turn around and pack it all up to come home, because I promise you're going to buy so many things, and like just everything that you have is going to expand while you're at school, so you want some space to leave for that, if that makes sense. My next one is about working, and it's if you get a job, make sure you set limits. It's really hard, I've found personally, to just prioritize everything when it comes to college, because there's just so many different things to commit to. Whether, you know, you're getting involved on campus, then you have like club meetings and stuff like that. But then also just going to school in general. If you're taking a full course load, that's a huge commitment. There's a lot of studying and papers and things like that involved with every single class that you take. You want to make sure that even if you are working, that school remains your first priority, and that you're not working too much and stressing yourself out too much. So if you're going to get a part-time job when you're in school, I think it's completely doable. I've had a part-time job the whole time that I've been in school, honestly since I've been a junior in high school, and I think it's totally something manageable. You just have to make sure that you're setting your priorities and focusing on school, because that is the most important. So if you find that you're working too much and it's taking away from your studying, then you just have to talk to your manager and make sure that you cut back on those hours, because you do want school to come first. And the next tip that I actually wrote down is school comes first. And I mean, I've said it a lot in this video, but it just, a lot happens when you go to college, and so you just want to make sure that as much fun as you're having, you're also focusing on the real reason why you're there, because you don't want to end up failing a class. It's so hard when that happens because you have to end up paying for the same thing all over again, sitting through the same class all over again. And it's just a waste of your time and your money. So you really want to make sure that you focus on school because it is the reason that you're there, and hopefully you'll be interested in most of the things you're taking in college because you're choosing what you want to study. So of course gen ed courses aren't the most exciting, but there's always something to get out of it, so make sure that you focus on it. My last tip is kind of a more general one, and it is to push yourself. And this could be in any way that you want to take it, but I think for me it meant pushing myself out of my shell. I honestly was still so shy when I went to college, and I think that I've grown so much as a person because I have pushed myself past kind of the fear of getting to know new people and everything like that. And I've joined 2 Greek organizations and just become really involved on campus in general with volunteering and just working and all kinds of different things, and it's really helped me to grow. But if I'd never pushed myself to take the step to join those things, I never would have experienced that, and I'd be a totally different person right now. So I think that you can take this in many ways, but just make sure that you're letting your college experience really be the best it can. Make sure that you're putting as much as you can into your classes and into whatever you're passionate about, and I promise you it's going to open so many doors and you're just going to have so much fun at college. Alright, and those were the tips that I wanted to share with you guys today. I honestly could go on about this forever, but I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any more questions, make sure to leave them in a comment below and I will do my best to answer them all. And yeah, I guess that's about it. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos from me and follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all of that fun stuff. They're always linked in the down bar. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Total darkness side,